Hi everyone, welcome to my channel The Leaf Confidant. My name is Zara and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to spruce up your kitchen or a place that's got less bright direct light with plants and still be able to create that jungle vibe that everyone is going for. So I'm going to take all the plants of these shelves that are behind me and one by one I'm going to be popping them back on the shelf. As I do that, I'm going to be taking you step by step through the sort of plants that I am keeping in the kitchen behind me, the sort of plants that do well in this environment. Now, surprisingly, some of the plants that have been doing okay are plants that I wouldn't necessarily have kept here. It might be due to the fact that we are experiencing El Niño this year. So we have had a higher rate of rainfall than usual, which means that the humidity has been much higher as well. So a lot of the plants that I'm keeping here are propagations and cuttings. Under any other conditions, I would have said to not keep those plants here, that they're not going to grow, they're not going to survive, especially being cuttings. You need light for them to be able to grow because they get the source that makes them grow really is the source that they get from the sun, the vitamins from the sun. And this being quite a dark space, I would not have normally put those plants in here. Also, being a kitchen, I guess you're always cooking, so that creates more humidity and steam. And because my kitchen is also right next to the bathroom, that might have something to do with the fact that my propagations have been doing okay. From what you can see, there's 3 types of plants here. No, sorry, 4 types of plants that I'm keeping in my kitchen here. So that's several types of philodendrons, monsteras, the ferns, and a inviting grape ivy. Oh, sorry, and another one is the air plants. So I've got a couple of air plants here as well. So if you're looking for ideas on how to spruce up your place with plants or how to spruce up your kitchen, or if you've got a house that's like low in light, doesn't have bright direct light, then this video might be able to give you some ideas on how to go about that successfully. So now I'm going to start bringing my plants in and slowly taking you through the plants that I'm putting up here and why I'm putting those plants in here. Pretty much what you always want to keep in mind and what you always want to do, and the thing that is going to make your plants survive is trying to replicate their natural environment as best as possible. So the number one key to making your plants survive and thrive is to replicate their natural environment. So let me go grab some stuff and I'll talk you through it as I'm plonking it up on the shelf. I don't really like keeping like plates and glasses and stuff like that on open shelving, but I do keep a few on the bottom of the shelf because it's just easy to reach for in the morning, especially my coffee cup, which I use to make my coffee in the morning. I keep up on the shelf, and also some of the other smaller coffee cups for when people are over and making coffee and tea. It's just easy to grab and reach for. Now, the first plant which I keep on the bottom of the shelf is just an air plant. So air plants pretty much live off nothing but air, as the name suggests. This one actually I've neglected a bit, to be honest, and I haven't been watering it as much as I should have. So it's looking a bit lifeless, or more lifeless than it should be. But this one is pretty much like the darkest spot on the shelf. So that's why I've just put an air plant here because it doesn't really need much to survive. Also, I'll be putting up a little fake pineapple because I'm obsessed with pineapples. Now, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, quite surprisingly, I've been able to get away with keeping a lot of my cuttings and propagations in the space behind me. Whether that's due to the high levels of humidity this year or not, we'll just have to wait and see how I go throughout the year and how I go next year. But one of the cuttings and propagations I've been keeping in the shelf behind me is this Hartley Philodendron Brazil. So I've just been keeping it on the second shelf here, on the second and third shelves actually. So I've got a combination of different pothoses, monsteras and philodendrons pretty much on these two shelves over here. Now this one is the Monstera Addisonii that I've been keeping up on the shelf. Also, once again, cuttings. Sorry, I should have changed the water in these. I haven't changed the water in these for a while, so it's not looking as fresh and great. But you can see that these are just cuttings from my other Monstera Addisonii. This is also another one of my pothoses that I'm keeping up here. Once again, just cuttings as well from my mother plant. And another cutting of my Brazilian philodendron. And as you can tell, I'm majorly obsessed with pineapples, so I'm adding another pineapple to this shelf as well. Now on the next shelf up, I'm keeping a snake plant, a Sansevierina, or as they've been more recently renamed, they're now in the family of Dracaenas. So I'm keeping that one up in the corner over there. That's because these guys are very hardy. They don't require much water, and also they seem to do okay with lower amounts of light. That's why I've been able to keep it up in the corner there of the shelf. Now in the other corner of the shelf, I've been keeping another air plant. Once again, I've kind of neglected this one and I haven't been watering it as often as I should be. So with the air plants, you just water them once a week. You dip them in like a bowl of shallow water, just enough so that the roots are covered. And that's all the watering it requires. And they don't need bright indirect light either. So it's perfect for these sort of like dimmer light conditions. And again, I'm putting more cuttings up on this shelf. So this one is once again the Hartley Philodendron Brazil, and this one is the Monstera Addisonii. And another Monstera Addisonii, and this one's the Hartley Philodendron Brazil again. But this one, so I've stuck a cutting of a begonia in here as well. If you can see that, the one with the pink velvety leaves, that one there. Now this one is very surprising that it's doing okay in this environment up here. It might be because it's in a jar with another plant that's already rooted, and that's kind of what's making it survive and wanting to live as well. But it is very interesting that it is doing okay living in this jar in direct light. Now, for the very top shelf, I am keeping this monster of a heartleaf philodendron. This one's living in quite a small pot, but as you can see, it's just doing so well. So this just goes to show that even though the plant is quite long and large, I still haven't had the need to repot it. So as long as the plant is doing okay, there's no reason to repot it. It's only once it starts dying and stops growing and just, you can tell that it's not doing well, that's when it's probably time to repot your plant. But this one I've just been keeping up in that corner over there and it's been doing great. The second plant, I'm only keeping 3 plants up on the top shelf and they're all big plants. So the second plant which I'm keeping up on the top shelf is this fern. I'm not really sure of the type of fern it is, but it is a fern and all ferns like similar conditions. So ferns are great if you've got a space that doesn't get much bright indirect light, but is quite high in humidity. So kitchens are perfect for ferns because you're always cooking there, there's steam. Also, my kitchen is located right next to a bathroom, so the humidity in here is often very high. So therefore this one has been doing very well in the kitchen here. And the last plant which I've been keeping up on the shelves behind me is this grapevine ivy. Now I haven't seen many of these, and to be honest, I spotted this one randomly in a plant shop here in Surrey Hills, and I just fell in love with it. It's just such a beautiful, unusual plant, and the leaves remind me of kangaroo paws. So I think it's just super cute and it's been doing quite well in the kitchen as well. It's grown very long too. So it's good to have these sort of trailing plants up on the top shelf, so that they just trail down and create that jungle vibe. And there you have it. These are the plants that I keep in the shelves behind me. As you can see on the very top is where I keep all of my trailing plants, so that they have room to grow, and as they grow they also create more and more of a jungle vibe, like that overgrown look that everyone's going for at the moment. Further along, so I've got a window facing that way, and as we go further along, that is where I keep more sort of the plants that like a little bit more light. Although I did mention that I'm keeping the Sansevieria, sorry, I butchered that. The Sansevieria cylindrica in the corner over here, it's been doing okay. I'm keeping more of the Dracaenas up further along the shelves, which I will show you now. So as we go along, that's where I'm keeping my Alocasia and more of the Sansevierias. And then I've got a pothos just on the very end. Now, the reason why I'm keeping the pothos, the neon pothos over on the very end of the kitchen is not particularly because of the conditions over there. I just wanted another trailing plant over there to match the other plants that are trailing behind me. So in keeping with the trailingness of the of what's happening over here, and because that is going towards the end of the kitchen, thinking better, and to kind of also give you the sense of separation between the kitchen and the living room, which is the next part of the apartment. Now, thanks everyone for watching all the way through to the end. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video just as much as I've enjoyed making it. And if this is the kind of content that interests you, like plans, how to style your house with plans, how to take care of your plans, then please subscribe to my channel. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, then please do give me a big thumbs up, because it just lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that you like what I'm posting. Also, if you have any questions, then please leave any comments that you might have below. And I hope to see you here next time. So for now, ciao. Now, once again, I'd like to remind everyone that I'm not a qualified horticulturalist, so the tips and tricks that I am giving on my channel are from my very own experience. They're things that have worked for me, and I've been keeping plants for a fair few years now, let's say about 3-4 years, and I've got over 100 plants. So I've got a lot of plants under my care, and they have been surviving. But saying that, depending on your location, depending on the time of the year, and just depending on the kind of plants that you have, the light conditions. So I'm located in a east facing apartment. Some of you guys might be located in the north or west or whatever kind of facing apartment. So some of the tips and tricks I am giving and providing on this channel might not work for you.